I started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
All right, city bitches, welcome back to another week of City Girls Make Do, your favorite Sex in the City podcast of all time, hosted by me, Stephanie, aka Franny and Zoe by JD Salinger, except gay.
And I'm Alex, aka New York City's hottest vagina.
Oh, wow. God damn.
Thanks.
You're coming to us on season 2, episode 15, which is called Shortcomings. Because, well, guess what? It's all about premature ejaculation, which is honestly a topic I can't believe we haven't gotten to until now.
It's not all about that. We do have other subjects, but...
Well, true. I mean, that's the Carrie story, so, like, you know, it's, of course, got to be one of our main focuses. But there's some other stuff going on. Yeah, I liked this episode. What do you think?
It was okay. I liked how everyone kind of had a storyline, because they just smashed Samantha and Charlotte together, so it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because so often they, like, leave one character out and they just don't get anything, and it's usually Charlotte when they do.
Or they give Charlotte just the weirdest, worst storyline ever.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and when she doesn't have a story, she always, like, the only thing she does when she shows up is gives, like, the worst advice, and then that's all she does. And so it's like, okay.
The worst take of anyone's life.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we can just jump right into this one. It starts out with Carrie's voiceover, and she's basically just saying, like, everyone has a worst nightmare. Miranda's just happens to be family hour at the gym, which I didn't even know this was a thing. So I guess...
It can't be a thing. It can't be, because it's just so dangerous. Like, she's lifting weights and some kid comes up and tickles her. And
yeah.
There's no way children, like, under 10 are going to be in a gym with weightlifting equipment.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I mean, like, I gotta say, I really can't fact check this because I don't go to the fucking gym.
No.
But, like, who do you think we are? But yeah, no. Yeah, there's kids everywhere and they're obnoxious as hell. They're just running around being monsters and Miranda's just fucking over it.
I mean, I didn't step into a gym until I was, like, 16. I've never seen a child in a gym. This sounds fake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the like 2 times I've ever been to a gym, there were no kids there. But yeah, Miranda gets on the elevator and there's like a dad there with his kid, and this annoyed me.
I'm sorry, he's a DILF.
Oh, you know what? You're right, and you should say it because I don't even know what his name is. I just called him the dad the entire episode.
I think I wrote it down. Let me see. Roger.
Oh, okay. Well, Daddy Roger, God, this pissed me off so much. I'm like, okay, you're attractive, so like, fine. But then he says like his kid loves to push the buttons on the elevator, so like, oh, do you mind letting him do it? And Miranda's in a hurry, so this is kind of annoying.
Well, I don't like touching the buttons because I'm kind of a germaphobe, so I'd be fine with this. Like, the kid gets sick, I don't give a shit.
That's true. That's a good point.
I don't know. How many times have we let a man get away with something just because he was attractive?
I don't know, because I feel like it could also just be subconsciously me, like, doing it.
I mean, I definitely have. I will call myself out on this.
And I mean, Miranda clearly is not a fan of the children anywhere. So this is a testament to, like, how attractive this guy is she's willing to, like, do something for his child after being harassed and tickled by children at the gym.
Yeah, and then he's laying it on thick because he's like, oh, you know, say thank you to the pretty lady. And then he asks her name and she says Miranda, and he says, oh, that sounds like a princess name, which it doesn't.
No, it totally doesn't. But, like, whatever. He's doing his thing. I also just want to say that I hate this kid because he pushes button 1, but then he pushes, like, 5 other buttons at the same time. And it's like, my head exploded. Also, the kid's name is Simon, so the whole episode I was like, if Miranda's oppressed, then why Simon?
Simon is a little shit. Like, I like kids. Hated Simon.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is, like, I like kids, but then it's like some people's kids are just like that. And there's nothing you can do about it, really. And I don't know. But Simon is one of those kids.
Yeah, they're little demons. They're just little mischievous elves. I don't like them. But most of the time, kids are cute and cool, and you should be nice to children.
Uh-huh. You should be nice to children. And Miranda tries to be nice to this kid, because it's not like she's just like, oh, well, I'm going to treat him nice because I think his dad's cute. Like, she's genuinely nice to him throughout the episode, even though the kid is, like, antagonizing everyone, including me. But,
We'll get there. And when she gets to her floor, like, I can't remember how, but basically Roger convinces her to get back in, and then he asks her out.
Yeah, he's like, can I persuade you to take another ride? Yeah. And then Simon apparently pees his pants when the elevator goes back up again.
Oh my god. He's too old to be peeing himself. He is.
I know. Yeah. Because this kid is what, like 7? I don't know.
10. He's like a 10, 11. Like, he's too old to still be peeing himself.
And, well, apparently also he's got, like, behavioral issues, probably because of the divorce, which he whispers out and spells out.
I think it's because he's a serial killer.
Simon? You think Simon's a serial killer? Yeah.
Simon, because that is a sign of, like, child psychopathy. Like,
pissing your pants?
Well, bedwetting is.
Interesting.
And, like, later on he hits her in the head, which was definitely on purpose. I think he's a little villain.
You think he's, like, gonna grow up and turn into Dexter? Like,
there's a whole side story. There, in the movie, there should be a side story of, like, there's a serial killer roaming New York. Just in the background, it's on, like, newspapers and shit.
Oh my god. And it turns out to be Simon from season 2, episode 15, who we'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
So then Miranda tells the girls about this shit at brunch, and, like, this is kind of, okay, her description of it's really weird, because she, like, starts out by talking about how she doesn't like antiques and flea markets and vintage clothes, like, things that are used, because that's how she's describing this divorced man, is that he's, like, used.
You see, it's feminist because we're objectifying men.
It's true, right?
Yeah. I mean, this whole episode was weird for me because, like, my dad was divorced when my parents met, and, like, he had kids from a previous marriage. So I was like, oh, this is a weird way to just talk about that. Like,
it kind of is, yeah. I can't really imagine meeting someone who's already been divorced with kids, but at the same time, that seems like a 30-something person problem. Not problem, but, like, issue. Like, thing that you deal with in your 30s.
I feel like by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, meeting someone who has already been in a relationship is, well, not in a relationship, but obviously in a very serious relationship or married, is not out of the ordinary at all.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand what the big deal with it is. I mean, especially, yeah, if you're, what is she's meant to be, like, 32? So what, she expects a man to not, I don't understand. I don't.
Well, he's got to be that male ideal. He's got to be that male ideal between perfectly experienced, but also, like, a little baby boy who doesn't know anything, who's never been hurt in his life. So it's hard to find a man who's like that.
I mean, good luck finding a man with no damage. If you do, can you give me a call? But, I mean, it's baggage, and especially by the time you're in your 30s, you're gonna have baggage from any sort of relationship. So they're being really childish about it.
Yeah. Well, everyone except surprisingly Charlotte. Charlotte's, like, the one person who's kind of reasonable about this, even though she's usually the one with, like, the worst take possible.
Well, do you remember when she dated the widower?
Oh, yeah.
That's a different situation, but still, someone who has been married before. I guess the idea is that if they've been married before, then they can commit again. Either they can commit again or they're terrified of commitment. So flip a coin.
Well, it kind of seemed like some of the argument the other people were making was like, oh, well, if he's divorced, then there must be something wrong with him, right? Which, of course, is not true.
Yeah, there couldn't be something wrong with her.
Yeah.
Or just the relationship didn't work out, because that's how relationships work.
It doesn't really make sense, but Yeah, Charlotte's the only rational one, because she's talking about how her brother is recently separated, her brother Wesley, from his wife Leslie.
Of course his name is Wesley. We'll get to Wesley. And Samantha is like, oh, because, you know, she's a disgusting sex pervert.
Oh, because she's Samantha and she's horny 24/7, 365. Like, what else is she supposed to do? There's another man out there.
A new man is really cartoony. Especially she's just been saying that divorced men should be, like, rounded up and put in a pen so you know where they are.
I know. It's like, what? It's like a cartoon villain twirling his mustache, except for it's like, I'm a cartoon. If cartoons had like evil sluts who are like twirling their slut mustaches, I don't know.
I guess it's the one thing that she can agree on with a Catholic. That and not wearing condoms.
Yeah, good point. Oh god. Yeah, she has strong opinions until she doesn't.
Until she's like, oh, I can get my dick sucked, but I don't have a dick, so I can get my pussy ate.
I mean, isn't that the eternal mood of all of us? But that's pretty much their whole brunch scene. Then we find out Carrie's been dating this new guy, and I'm sorry, but he's so boring looking.
Okay, so you know this is Justin Theroux again, right?
It is? I don't know shit. I hate looking at him.
It's Justin Theroux again, who has already been on the show playing a different character.
Who was he before?
I think it was like in season 1 when Carrie and Big were dating, and like she was wearing this silver dress, that's what I remember. She ran off to a party to be with him and like flirt with him. He was an author. And he's an author in this. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god, so he's like not the same character, but he's basically the same character? God.
Pretty much, except this time he's uglier.
I don't know. It looks like his head is a 5 o'clock shadow of hair because it's so short. And he's a fiction writer. His name is Vaughn. I learned that writing Vaughn is a really annoying name to type because the letters are so stupidly put together. And I kept spelling it wrong.
I didn't really care about spelling. But yeah, he looks like a fucking nerd. And for some reason, like, Jason Theroux, until about 2005, looked like a fucking nerd. And then, I don't know, suddenly he put on a bit of weight and started dating Jennifer Aniston and he got hot.
Yeah, well, he's certainly not hot in this.
No.
Yeah, and he also, oh my god, also I just really hated his character, too. Like, he's such a piss baby.
He was such a shitbag.
I guess we'll get to it, but like, the whole thing is he's like, they're walking down the street together and he's like, oh, I just gotta stop by my parents real quick. And he asked her to come in and she doesn't really want to originally because they haven't been seeing each other very long. So she's like, I don't want to meet your parents yet. But he convinces her, and so we get to meet his family, and there's something.
They sure are. I mean, I understand Carrie's point of view. I would not want to meet someone I've been dating for, maybe a couple of weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
I wouldn't want to meet their family at all. But, yeah, so we meet his mother, and she is a documentary filmmaker, and she says to Carrie that she should make a film on revirginization because she's just done a documentary on genital mutilation, which is heavy.
That is,
I also guess she's probably focusing on FGM, which is just really horribly sad, which is not something I want to think about when I'm watching my fun sex sitcom, but okay.
Yeah, it's a really gross topic, and yeah, she's like, yeah, it'd be great for you to write about women getting their vaginas like sewn to be like new again, which
isn't true. That's not how virgins work.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on, but Carrie is like so charmed by the entire family and this and everything. And the mom is like, oh, of course I know you from your column. I'm a huge fan. Oh my god. And like when the dad comes in, the dad's just like, oh my god, Vaughn didn't tell us he was dating an icon. You should come to my course about cultural zeitgeist because you should talk. I'm like, what the fuck?
And like then he has two sisters, and then one of them's a lesbian and flirts with her.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and you can obviously tell that she's like written to be a lesbian character, just like entirely about they just. It's like the most stereotypical way they could possibly write a lesbian character.
She I mean, she might as well come in with a pair of, like, hockey sticks and, you know, her rugby outfit and a copy of, like, Bikini Kill's latest album and been like, oh, hello, Carrie.
And, like, oh yeah, the sisters are named Franny and Zoe, like, after the J.D. Salinger book. And the mom's like, J.D. Salinger used to get me high. What can I say? And I'm like, as if Carrie would even know what this book is to begin with, even though it's from, like, a pretty famous author. I'm like, Carrie's never read.
She can't read. She's the only illiterate journalist in the world.
It's true. It wasn't in Vogue. J.D. Salinger never published it in Vogue, so she's never read it.
Well, I mean, it's a bit... And J.D. Salinger's gonna be your author of choice. I mean, I've only ever read The Catcher in the Rye, and I can't say I felt high off of it.
When I was a kid, I gotta say, okay, not a kid, when I was a teenager, I gotta say, I fucking loved Franny and Zoe, and I read, like, most of his other short stories, because I was like, oh, I need to read all of his work after I read Catcher in the Rye, because I was 16. His other work is better than Catcher in the Rye, I do gotta say. The only good thing about Catcher in the Rye that I will say is that if it didn't exist, John Lennon might still be alive.
I knew you were going to bring this up. I knew you were going to say that. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I remember being like 13 and deciding I was going to read all the literary classics as well.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
We've all had that phase. One other thing I want to add is I find it super interesting that everyone who ever names their kid Zoe after this book, it's always a girl. Like, Zoe Deschanel is named after the book, and this is a girl, but the character is a boy.
Oh.
Which is shrimp-interesting.
I was going to say, because Zoe is a girl's name as far as, you know. It's like,
it is.
I guess it's like calling your kid Courtney.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But, like, Zoe is also, like, because it's spelled weird, too, because it's like Zoe, but it's Zoe.
Zoe.
But yeah, well, anyway, this is the family.
Oh, and they have a table, and there are so many bagels.
Oh my god, I know. I was like, I need to be at this house.
I got so hungry. They just have, like, 2 baskets full of bagels, and they're always talking about, like, lox and cream cheese, and they have like a caprese salad. Oh, I just got so hungry.
Oh, it looks so good. And Vaughn, like, he keeps being like, okay, we gotta go, because he's just like, he's clearly like the odd one out in his family, even at this point, and Carrie's just like, no, I fucking love it here, and we're staying.
If I had a boyfriend and, like, his parents were super cool and they had this, like, lovely townhouse in New York, and they also had just, I don't know, just for their normal brunch, they had 2 fucking baskets of bagels, I'm staying.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, okay, you're settling.
Yeah, I'm like, we can get married if I can have bagels every Saturday.
I get it, though. Like, after we learn more about Vaughn, like, I do get it. But
I get it, but, like, I mean, at first, this seems perfect. This seems like the best relationship possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's the real Sophie's choice of dating when you're like, when you're like bagels and a cool family, or this dude who sucks major ass. I don't know.
I would just date his sister. Who's gonna stop me?
Big same. Yeah, true. This
Like,
sister does seem to have a girlfriend, though, like, later on, but...
I know, but she did have, like, some very big strap energy.
True. God, this is so much to think about.
Yeah. Miranda and her date?
Yeah, she goes on her date with the dad, and they're just, like, walking through the park. They're just, like, chatting and joking, but then fucking Simon hits her on the head with a tree branch.
Yes.
Which is so uncalled for.
Huge.
It's like
such a huge branch. It's so ginormous.
It's as big as him, and I'm like, what the fuck, Simon? What's wrong with you?
Like, I mean, because this was weird because, okay, this is me parting the kimono again. So, my parents' first day was they went swimming with my dad's kids, and whenever my mum tells that story, I get so upset because I'm like, why did you stay with him? If I went on a date with a guy and he was like, oh, I'm going to bring my kids, I'd be like, oh, no.
On, like, the first date, it's really a bit much.
On the first date, that's insane. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be against dating someone if they had children. Like, for my sort of age bracket, it's kind of rare for someone to have kids. But if they did, I wouldn't necessarily want to meet them until I knew we were serious about each other, because I don't think it's fair on them to sort of have them meet person after person, you know, and build a relationship with them if we're going to break up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I kind of feel the same way, because it's like, you really don't want to fuck up this kid who's, you know, already going through a lot of shit. You really don't want to make him feel like any more, you know, any worse about the whole situation. So yeah. I mean, I guess in this case, like, he met Miranda when she got asked out, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, this still just seems like a little bit much.
Yeah, because, I mean, say you date for like maybe a year and you and the child build up a relationship, and then it doesn't work out with your partner and you break up, but you still kind of have to have a relationship with, like, you either break up with a kid, as you have to break up with them as well as whoever you're dating, and that's not fair on a child because they can't really process that. I mean, luckily, I suppose my parents ended up, they're still together after 20 whatever years, but
yeah.
I can't believe she did that. She's a fucking idiot. God bless her.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it. This guy's pretty hot. I mean, but at the same time, like, this kid brings her a fucking worm. Like, I don't know. It's a bit much. Like, but I mean, she does also kind of think that he's, like, amazing because, like, I guess the fact that he's been married and had kids, he's kind of more settled down. Like, he even says, like, before he had kids, he was pretty chill and just kind of liked, you know, being at home and going back to like knowing there's people waiting for him at home or whatever the fuck he said, some dumb shit. And then Miranda calls him the heterosexual holy grail, and I'm like, he's a normal person. I don't understand this, but
I guess because in the world of Sex and the City, every single man is on some other level of psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all very strange men they seem to date. Like, they always have some weird fetish, or they've got some horrible emotional baggage. And I mean, this is true of real people, but it tends to be that real people have positives as well as negatives.
Yeah, and I feel like they're just really over-exaggerated on the show, too. Like, they're... Yeah. Obviously, people are going to make mistakes and do dumb shit in real life and have baggage, but, like, not to the well, I mean, maybe to the extent is on the show, but probably not as frequently. So,
and they might be, like, nice. They might be, like, all around a good person, but they just have they have a couple of faults like anyone else does. Whereas in Sex and the City, they are a normal person until their fault arises, in which case they are the evil, terrible people, which isn't realistic.
Yeah, and they must be stormed out on, like, immediately. That's just it.
How do you break up with someone? Oh, you just storm out of a room and never speak to them again. That's the adult way to do it.
Because, like, yeah, the number of times you've ever dated someone and the way it ended was extremely abrupt because they did something ridiculously just heinous. Because I'm trying to think of any time anyone I know has gone through a breakup with someone that they haven't dated very long. And usually it's kind of just like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. It's not like you're insane or anything. It's just...
No, I don't know. Or even if someone you've been dating for, like, I don't know, a little while, you're still like, okay, well, let's have a conversation and then we'll break up, kind of mutually. Not, they do one terrible thing and you realize that, oh, they're a horrible person. So you storm out of the room and then you just never speak to them, never see them, never hear from them again. And then you write a column about it.
That's it. That's the show.
Yeah.
And that's why we love to watch it so much.
It's bizarre, it's the heightened reality, and we love it.
We get to meet Charlotte's brother now, and Charlotte's, like, trying to cure his depression with muffins.
And he's like, Charlotte, I need a martini.
I want to say these muffins are huge. They're huge. I could never eat a muffin this big.
These muffins are ginormous. I'm not even sure what kind of muffins they are. They're just sort of brown.
Uh-huh.
There doesn't seem to be any fruit sticking out of them. But she has, like, jam on the table, so maybe they're more like a scone. I don't know.
Maybe. They're like meal-sized fucking muffins.
They're fucking huge. Even if you gave me this for breakfast, I'd say this is a bit much. Just a bit much on the muffin front. Can I say... A+ to whoever did the casting, because these chins
Oh my god, it's true. They're so matching.
They have the biggest fucking chins. And, like, when Carl McLaughlin comes in, it's a good job they didn't have that baby. Because, my goodness.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh, I can't wait. He's so... Well, he's not as soon as I'd like, but he's still so soon. I'm so excited.
Yeah. But Wesley is just... He's like a cartoon wasp. You know, did you see the sequels to Wet Hot American Summer?
I did not, no.
Oh, well, they had like a camp for like the rich kids, and he's just like an 80s rich kid. Like if this was a ski movie, then he would be the villain because he's so fucking waspy.
He is. And he even like, when Charlotte says she doesn't have any vodka, he's like, you call yourself a wasp? And I just, God, this family really fucking takes itself seriously so much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I come from obviously a mixed family, so you make jokes about, like, ethnicity and backgrounds and stuff, but are waspy people going, oh, I'm a wasp, I'm white as fuck? Do people do that?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. But, I don't know. Charlotte seems pretty fucking proud of it, so I don't know. But the entire basis of the scene is just stupid. It's just, like, Charlotte's just giving him crap about how, like, she feels like he didn't really work in the relationship. Like, you have to have hard work and commitment to keep a relationship together. And then he just calls her out because he's like, oh, well, like, when was your last long-term relationship? Which fucking... yeah.
Mean, okay.
It's mean, but it's also like, I would also be mean though if I had someone who was giving me shit about my relationship and they weren't, like, they didn't even know a single thing about it, I would be super petty about it. I'd be like, fuck off.
You know how your adult siblings don't know anything about your relationship? That seems healthy.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. I mean, I get that he wouldn't tell her about some things from the relationship, like some things
they're married.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems weird that like she wouldn't know some of these things. It's not like you're just dating someone; like they're married, and she's like, "Oh, you guys were in a perfect relationship." Like, I don't know. I feel like you would have caught on a little bit.
Yeah, you'd think so. And she seems like the kind of person who has, like, a lot of, important family dinners and shit, because her family, I'm sure, is, like, very close and like that because they're rich, so. Well,
yeah, you have to keep the bloodline pure, so I'm sure they're meeting up with all the other wasps who came over on the Mayflower. I don't know. I mean, it seems like the type of semi-arranged marriages probably go on a lot.
God, I really don't know enough about wasp culture to say, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I've only ever watched Gossip Girl, so that's really as far as I know.
I just know, the only thing I know is just the Song of Ice and Fire pure bloodlines, and I feel like it makes sense, yeah, based off of how inbred they are, so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I have the real life royal family, so I am very aware of how inbred they are.
Oh, that's true, that's a very good point.
We got some real life inbreeding. Fuck rich people.
Rich people are the fucking worst and gross.
Fucking hemophiliacs.
I mean, good. Spread it. But as long as they're spreading it only to themselves.
I mean, they branched out now. Finally.
True. Well, anyway, we get to move on to some less waspy people. Carrie and Vaughn get back from the parents' place, and now they're super horny because of it.
This is gross. Imagine eating lox at someone's fucking parents' house and be like, oh god, this is foreplay.
I don't understand. Like, yeah, she calls it like 6 hours of foreplay being at his parents' house, which I have no idea. I don't want to know what happened at the parents' house now.
Oh yeah, I always feel real horned up after visiting my parents. I don't know about you.
This is something to me. And then right after, we just get like, they haven't even fucking made it to bed yet. They haven't even got his underwear off yet. He fucking nuts in his underwear, and
it's so painful to watch because like, oh, it's too real.
it's just, she's barely even touched his dick at this point, and he's already fucking blown his load, and I don't get it.
I mean, I would just be like, okay, you know, maybe it's been a long time. Maybe he's in the Proud Boys and he can't jerk off. But that's a joke. If I thought someone else was in the Proud Boys, I wouldn't be dating them.
Good point.
Like, I don't know. I guess first time, shame on me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it happens every once in a while. Like, it's one of those things that's like, it might happen, but, you know, as long as doesn't happen often, then whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I would just be like, oh, that sucks, but I wouldn't stop seeing him. It's just the way he deals with it is so terrible.
Yes, exactly. See, the first thing is if that's going to happen, then he'd better immediately be like, well, I'm at least going to go down on you because you're all riled up at this point. So he doesn't do that as far as I know.
That's how you fix it.
That's how you fix it. It's like, well, I'm going to make you nut as fast as possible too. But he sure doesn't do that. And Carrie's like, I'll get you a tissue. And she gets one single tissue for him. And I'm like, girl, have you ever cleaned up a load before? Like, what are you doing?
I mean, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, maybe it wasn't a lot. But like,
I mean,
again,
it's a tiny tissue though.
A tiny, eeny-weeny little tissue for a mouse. She has it on a pair of tweezers and she's like, here.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, it could be just a really petty way of being like, do your best with this, but...
I just wouldn't even hand him a tissue or just walk away.
Yeah, it's a situation. Yeah.
It's a situation. I mean, we don't want to be mean to him because, you know, it happens to a lot of men.
And it's like, it's their first time, so like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he hasn't, maybe it's been a while since the last nut, but...
Perhaps.
I don't know. Who knows? We can't judge at this point. I mean, we can judge a little, but we're not going to judge much at this point.
We're always judging. That's kind of the point of the show.
I know, that's true. Why else would you listen to this? We're so funny and judgmental, so... So brunch again. You know it's a lot going on when you have more than one brunch scene with the girls.
I don't even think I have notes for this one. Are they just... Samantha isn't there, and I think they're just talking...
Oh no, Samantha is there, because she has a couple really stupid lines, but, like, it's really just Carrie explaining her situation, and, like, Miranda's just like, you know what, just be forgiving about it, like, you never know, whatever, it happens. And then Samantha is, like, not so much on board with that. She says, that's swell, but it doesn't get the cream on the cupcake. Which
I don't know if you want it on a cupcake. It doesn't butter my muffin.
No.
Well, that's it. Yeah, Charlotte isn't the one who's there. I knew someone was missing. And then Carrie says something like Samantha is like General Patton, and she won't send her troops into war if she doesn't think they'll win.
Yeah, that sure is a
that's an analogy and a half.
It really is. Okay, Carrie. And then she goes on to talk about, like, how much she loves his family, and she calls them the Tom Cruise of families because they have charisma.
And they have Scientology slaves, apparently. They're homophobic and they hate the Irish.
Fucking, I don't know. Like, okay, so the family was easy to get along with, but I really didn't think they were that special. Like, I feel like every family kind of has its own, like, chemistry and charisma. I mean, some families are just boring as shit, I guess. But, like, I find it really weird that this is, like, just, she thinks they're, like, the coolest family ever. And I'm like, they're fine. Like, they're good, but...
I don't know. And I feel like a family is they're going to impress on the first try. They're going to be putting their best foot forward, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just seems like a really stupid thing to be like, well, the only thing that's kind of keeping me right now is that I really like his family. And it's like, really? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to meet them like several times before, you know, you came to my house and my dad was drunk and my mum was drunk and they were both swearing at each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you know, the real family dynamic of like everyone sort of has a mild streak of resentment. You know, at first it's like, look at all the food we have. Oh, we just cooked. Oh, do you want some wine? You know.
Yeah. And, like, I get it. Like, they seem very cool and, like, they're not trying at all. But, like, that's just how some people are. And they are still trying. So, I don't know. But the last thing about this that I was like, oh, this was just stupid but also funny was Sam talking about how, like, one time she fucked a guy because his family had a pool.
Yeah, and then she's like, and his mom would bring out Kool-Aid. And then Carrie's like, what, Kool-Aid? And she goes, yeah, I was 13.
Which is like...
It's so disturbing.
I'm like, what the fuck is this story? And Samantha's just laughing, and I don't know. It's a very interesting anecdote, I guess.
It's like reverse Stacy's mom.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Okay, so we got Carrie's question. Yeah.
Yeah, which is, do you have to fuck the family or something?
Yeah, I really fucking hated this question. I did not. So when you date someone, how many people become emotionally involved? When you sleep with someone, are you screwing the family?
I wouldn't phrase it like that if I were you.
Yeah, I really don't like it.
Don't love it, no.
It's an interesting question when it was just, like, the emotionally involved part, but then they had to, like, make it punchy, and I don't like it.
Then we get lunch with Vaughn's parents again, and they seem lovely. I don't know. I'm into it. I know you're not, but this seems fine to me.
Well, like, I think it's fine. I don't think it's bad. Yeah.
No, I just like hanging out with people's parents because I'm, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I get it. I can see why she's charmed. I think the mom has a lot of personality and, like, is interesting, and I get where she's coming from. I'm just kind of like, she just seems kind of, I feel like I've met a lot of people like this before. So I don't feel like I don't know. It's fine. But the mom clearly has, like, super charmed Carrie because she's telling her all these interesting stories about her life and stuff, and Carrie just loves it. And
yeah, they're really getting along well. And then Vaughn's just like, I'm not saying he doesn't care, but he's not really that into it.
Wait, was he in this scene?
I don't even remember. Oh, wait, no, it was just with his mom. It wasn't even with his family.
I wasn't sure if he was here or not. And I was like, wait, was he here? Because if he was, I don't remember.
I'm thinking of the scene later. No, she was just with his mom. Yeah, and I don't know, they're just getting along well. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And they kind of have, like, a nice talk about how the mom has always been, like, super frank about sex and blah, blah, blah. And just, I did like the thing she said where, like, she talks about her daughter coming out and was like, I don't care if you're a lesbian as long as you're not a Republican. And
well, that's true.
That's a mood. Yeah. Like, if you have a kid and they end up being a Republican, it's like, what do you do?
Oh, that is probably the, that would give me a call. I'd be like, well, what do I do? Do I love them and see if I can change their mind, or do I just give up?
That's hard at that point. It's like, what did I do wrong? Like, where can I go back and trace my steps and see exactly where I fucked up?
Yeah. That is a true nightmare. That they're just, you have one of those kids and they're just one of those fucking, like, how are you a conservative teenager, Imagine
having a kid and it's an incel. Like,
that's one of my fears, that I have a son and they're a fucking incel. I don't know what to do with boys. I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a boy, I'd be like, that's fine. But if I had like more than one kid and they were all boys, I'd be like, fuck this. I'm out.
I mean, I guess you don't know until they're grown up a bit whether they're a boy or a girl, like, definitively.
Well, true. Yeah.
That's true. Still, if they're like, okay, I'm definitely a boy, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I feel like, though, like, you know how, like, certain people who only have sons are, like, really specific kinds of moms, and they're always the worst.
They're the fucking worst, because, like, have you ever met a man you can tell that his mom just let him get away with fucking everything?
Yeah, well, that's gonna be Trey when we meet him fucking next season, and I just,
and, like, women who are like, I want to have a son because the boys are just easier to deal with than girls, and it's false.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, because it's like with a girl, it's like, you can deal with more, I don't know. The thing is, I guess that's even a stereotype too. I was going to say you can deal with more type drama type stuff with girls, but that's kind of also just gendered bullshit. But with boys, there's just so much stuff you have to deal with other than it. Like, how do I make sure my son understands what consent is and isn't a fucking idiot and isn't just gonna be a complete asshole to women and other people.
I mean, yeah, it's like, even if you have a son and you yourself and your, if you have a partner, them too, if you teach them to be a compassionate, loving person, but every single time they turn on a TV show or a movie or read a book or whatever, or they talk to their friends and they're all telling them something different, you just have to hope that what you say permeates them deeper. And it just fucking sucks. It just fucking sucks. Like, I guess, we know what it's like to grow up and be a girl, so it's kind of like, okay, well, I know what this is like. I remember being 12 years old a bit, so I can kind of relate to you. I don't know what it's like to be a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know, if whatever, as long as they're happy and healthy and not pieces of shit or fucking Republicans, then I'll be fine. What if they're Republicans in the European sense? Then that's okay. In fact, that's welcomed.
Now I'm imagining have a kid and they like vote liberal in Canada, and I'm just like, that's not left enough.
Like, you piece of shit, you fucking... Well, it was funny because the other day I was in a bad mood and I went on a rant about how the royal family should all be beheaded, and my mum cheerfully went, oh, she's just like me when I was her age.
Oh my god, I love that so much. I mean, you're right, and you should say it.
Well, I said the same thing. I said the same thing 40 years ago to my mother, and I was like, yeah, the genes are strong.
When will the royal family just stop repopulating? I don't know.
Like, they shouldn't be allowed to live while there are children starving in this country. She's like, yeah.
Truly. Or just the fucking world, because half of the world was fucking colonized by them anyway, so.
Yeah, reparations, bitch. Give me my money. just paying in Buckingham Palace, like, where are my reparations? For the country you destroyed.
On the Queen's door, just being like, money, please. Crown jewels, please.
Link to my GoFundMe. You must be a member of the royal family. Apologize for slavery.
Yeah, that would be a good one to start with, I think.
We need to move on.
We should move on, I guess. So after lunch, we go back to Charlotte and her brother. And so they're like at a bar or something at night, and Carrie and Samantha show up. And I guess it was only supposed to be Carrie. And then Charlotte kind of like takes Carrie aside and is like, why is she here?
And then Carrie's like, she's our friend.
Yeah.
Carrie's playing coy because she knows what she has done.
I know, yeah, and you can already see in the background, like, Samantha and Wesley are already flirting and being all like, eh. And because, like, a minute later, Wesley's just like, oh, Samantha says there's a great jazz bar that we should go to, and, like, they've known each other for all of a minute, and Charlotte's just like, okay, well, I'm not really in the mood for that, and Wesley says maybe we'll just go. Like, you've known her for a minute.
He doesn't even like, okay, well, let's have a couple of drinks and then maybe I'll slip away with Samantha. He's like, oh, okay, you can leave.
Yeah, and it seems like they just fucking got there, too. Like, it doesn't seem like they've been there very long, so it's pretty rude, but it's also just kind of rude of Samantha, too, where it's like, okay, you came with your friend, and now you're just gonna leave.
Yeah, I mean, it's rude of both of them. And I imagine they probably did just leave. Because this scene just kind of cuts there.
That's it. That's all we see. So clearly nothing else important happens, I guess. Once the scene's done, nothing else happens until the next scene. And then, yeah, because after that, that's the end, and we go to Miranda. So her and the dad are in bed together, so they already slept together and everything. And she gets up to pee, and then she's like on the toilet naked, and Simon just fucking opens the door out of nowhere.
Again. Like, I don't know. I don't trust this kid as far as I can throw him, which would be reasonably far. I'm kind of strong.
He's a literal shit disturber in this scene.
This little fucking weirdo. He's gonna have some fetish when he grows up. This is like we were talking about last week about laying the seed. This is laid a seed.
Yeah, she slams the door on his face because she's like, oh my god, like she's completely naked on the toilet and slams the door, but she like whacks him in the face really hard by accident.
God, they have, like, these crystal doorknobs, which are ugly as hell.
Yeah, and, like, so she wraps a towel around her and, like, opens the door, and the spot on his head is fucking huge. It's, like, this huge red spot.
And, she didn't even do anything wrong. She was just, she was doing what, like, no one would want a random child to see them naked pissing on a toilet. So you just close the door. It just so happened that his head had to be right there. Yeah,
and, like, she didn't do it on purpose. She wasn't, like, trying to fucking hit his head. But, you know, like, the dad is, like, he comes to comfort the kid, and, like, Miranda's trying to be really nice. She's like, if you have to go to the hospital for stitches, like, I'll come with you. Like, I'm so sorry. You know, like, she didn't do it on purpose. And, like, I get where the dad's coming from, because it's like, you know, if anyone hurts your kid, you're going to be super defensive about it, even if it was an accident. But, like, I do also feel like, you know, you can't really keep dating someone that your kid is, like, maybe afraid of or doesn't like for, like, you know, someone hits you in the head and you're, like, a young kid. You're probably, I don't know, like, you might just not like them after that. And
I mean, the other part of me is like, okay, but it was definitely an accident. If he was like, no, he's upset, you go home, like, maybe he explains to Simon that it was an accident, because it was a genuine accident. And I mean, I was hit in the head plenty of times as a child. I'm fine.
No, for sure. Like, the kid's gonna be fine. Like, he might, I don't know. I if I was him, I wouldn't have been so rude about it, I guess. Because, I mean, he wasn't necessarily rude, but he was just like, just go.
No.
Like, please, just go.
I wouldn't even consider this like a death. I mean, for the point of the show, it's a definite we're broken up. But I don't really think it should be, because, he obviously knows his son better than she does, but if he's upset, it probably is best that she just leaves and then they can figure out later.
Yeah, like, if it was real life, you'd think that he would call her and be like, he's fine now.
Yeah, he's fine. You know, I had a talk with him. Maybe, you know, maybe the two of them could have a conversation. She could apologize, or he could, you know, say, oh, you know, this is his favorite show, buy him an action figure and he'll be fine.
Yeah, and maybe just, like, still continue seeing her, but maybe just keep her a little bit more out of the kid's life at that point. Like,
here's the thing. Yeah. If she had been out of the kid's life, this wouldn't have happened.
That's true. Like, have her over when the kid is with the mom or something.
Yeah.
Like,
or go to her place and hire a babysitter.
Yeah, there's so many ways around this, but I guess we wouldn't have the drama of it all.
We need drama.
We do. We're fed by drama. It quenches our thirst.
It nourishes me. Do you want to know why my skin is so good? It's drama.
It moisturizes me. It hydrates me.
I'm 72. I just look pretty young.
Oh, wow. Dermatologists hate you.
A woman lives off drama.
True. Honestly, I feel like I'm going to live to be like 120 just off of spite alone. But yeah, so that's the end of Miranda's story for the entire episode. Well, it's pretty much. We do get one more Miranda scene, but that's like the end of her main story. We get Charlotte again, and it's like, so it's the morning after they went out, and so she comes into her kitchen in the morning and sees Samantha on a stool with like no pants on and just like a big sweater, and she's looking for coffee filters. So Charlotte's pretty surprised, you know.
She says, is your vagina the hottest spot in New York City? Because everyone's been there.
Yup. She fucking asks if it's in the New York City guidebooks. Like, Jesus Christ, Charlotte.
It's so mean. I also think, I mean, this seems like something that Charlotte has thought to herself, laughed at, and then it just came back. Like, it's too quick to just come at you in the heat at the moment.
It's been festering in her waspy brain.
Because, I mean, a normal person would just, I mean, it's the writers trying to be too witty for their own good, but a normal person would just say, like, you slut or something.
Yeah, pretty much. And, like, I don't know. I get that she wants her brother to get back with his ex, but, like, this is so uncalled for. She's so rude about it. And, you know, she's clearly pissed off Samantha, because, I mean, I'd be pissed off if someone called my vagina the hottest spot in New York City. Yeah, I mean, Charlotte pretty quickly knows she's crossed a line, though. Like,
again, like, I kind of get why you wouldn't want a sibling and your friend to sleep together, especially if you knew your friend probably isn't the best person to be dating.
Yeah, well, your friend doesn't want anything serious, I guess.
Exactly, and he got a divorce. It's a rebound. Nothing is gonna happen. I mean, I get it, but because, you know, icky.
Yeah.
Swords are crossing.
Yeah,
don't be mean. Don't be mean to your
it.
friends. Why would you say that to a friend?
Yeah. Samantha's upset, the brother's upset. Samantha she storms out. She's like, fuck this, because obviously I'd be the same. I'd be like, screw you, why are we friends?
Yeah, she storms out in just an oversized jumper.
Yeah. She also, like, goes into the room real quick while the brother while the brother, like, talks to Charlotte, and then she comes back out, like, 2 seconds later in a fucking dress, and I'm like, how did you change from literally just a sweater into your dress in, like, 2 seconds? I was very confused.
I mean, she isn't wearing underwear.
I mean, true. You just slide it on. But it was, like, a pretty fitted dress, so I was like, I don't know, this seems unrealistic, but that's television, I guess.
Yeah, and then Carrie and Vaughn.
Ugh. Yeah, they're in bed on their underwear, and I don't like to look at him, and he's, like, only wearing his underwear, which makes it even worse. And then I start kissing, and, like, she puts her hand on his dick, and, like, the second that happens, he's just like, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. And then he just, like, nuts again.
Like, she can't even touch his dick, so really, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, like, she touches it for 1 second and he nuts. Like, could you imagine if it was that easy to get off? Like, could you imagine?
It would be a curse. It would be a curse. Like, it wouldn't be, you'd sit down and then you'd nut. You'd have to cross your legs because you're on the train or the bus or something, and...
Yeah. I wonder what this guy's refractory period is like.
Jesus.
I don't know, but I'm just thinking about it because, like, he could just be like, okay, well, now that one's gone, let's wait, like, 30 minutes maybe and try again, and it shouldn't be so fast this time. I don't know.
A refractory period. That was very textbook of you. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he has a quick turnaround time.
Maybe.
But probably not. Because if he did, then you could at least work around that.
Yeah, true. But maybe it is real quick, because, like, what he could do if it was a long time is he could just nut right before they go on their date. But
that's what guys do.
Well, yeah, like, I've seen There's Something About Mary. I know that happens, I guess. I don't know. I also just think... I feel like I know that's a thing that some guys do, but I have a really hard time believing that, like, you know, it's that hard to not nut immediately. Like,
yeah, I mean, can you not? Again, yeah, I'm like, when they say that, I don't really understand, because, I don't know, how long is the date going to be? Like a couple of hours? And then assuming they get lucky...
I just don't get it. I mean, I guess this is, you know, what's the opposite of privilege? I was going to say this is, like, the opposite of privilege for having a vagina, that, like, we just don't get it, I guess.
Well, you could come as many times as you want. Who's going to stop you?
I mean, to a point. It's not infinite nut.
Is that Infinite Jest? Is that the sequel?
Yeah, it's the sequel to Infinite Jest. It's a lot better, Infinite Nut. I really suggest trying to finish Infinite Jest just so you can get to the nut, but...
Infinite Jest is edging for a book.
Oh my god, it fucking is. I mean, I've never read it, but I've seen it. I've seen it on the shelf before.
You've seen the book in bookstores, but you've never read it.
Yeah, and I know it's fucking big as shit, so, like...
I mean, I feel like if you're reading that, then that is edging, because it's like, oh god, but when I finish, it's going to be so good because I can tell everyone I read Infinite Jest.
Pretty much. But then you get to Infinite Nut and you're like, fuck, now I gotta read more. But
you get to Infinite Nut and then every chapter you're just like, nut, nut, nut.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like reading a Dan Brown book, because, like, you read 2 pages and you're like, nut, 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 because it's like, there's a climax every second. But...
Is this when she's reading his book? Or is it later?
I think that's later, because this is basically just, like, okay, so he nuts, like, right away, and then they just pick up their conversation right where they left it off, like, 20 seconds ago, and it's fucking hilarious.
You can hear the wah-wah.
Yeah, you very much can.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
And then we go back to Charlotte again. This is like her and her brother talking, and basically she's just like, okay, you had a fling, now you can get back together with Leslie. And he says he hasn't gotten laid in 2 years until sleeping with Charlotte.
Yeah, that's not great. I understand. And then Charlotte does too. She's like, oh shit, yeah, you needed that.
Yeah, she realizes actually it was a good thing that brother nut.
Ew.
I mean, it's the truth. It's what happened. I'm not gonna lie about it.
This was a horrible conversation because there was like I don't know. The way it was just like, I haven't had sex in 2 years. She's like, shit. Yeah, you need to get your dick wet. It was a really weird conversation to witness.
Yeah, I don't know how relatable this is because my only siblings are like so much younger than me that it's not a conversation I would ever have. So it's like, I don't know what it's like to have siblings in and around my age who would...
I don't talk about sex with my siblings, like, at all. I don't know. We talk about relationships, but not sex.
Yeah. Like, that's what I would imagine, but...
I don't know. I don't want to think about that. They're good Christian girls. Not me, obviously, because I wouldn't be running this show if I was, but...
That's a good point.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It was just a bit strange.
Yeah, I didn't think it seemed that relatable. I guess it was kind of the last straw where he was like, get off my fucking balls about this. And
get Samantha on them.
Pretty much, yeah, unfortunately. But Charlotte realizes it was good after all, and so she goes to Samantha's to apologize, which was nice. She brings an entire basket.
Yeah, she brings the muffins, and she's like, I'm sorry I said your vagina was the hottest spot in New York City and that everyone had been there or wants to be there. And then Samantha does say, oh, I have a tour guide coming through.
It's very good. And clearly, like, at first Samantha's kind of just like, whatever, like, this doesn't really mean anything. But then Charlotte gives her the basket of muffins and says she's really sorry. And then Samantha realizes, she sees the muffin and she realizes Charlotte really means it.
Because this is how Charlotte apologizes, I guess. And then Samantha, like, smacks her ass and she's like, get in here. Which is, you know, I was into.
It's sweet. I liked it. Although I didn't like the Carrie voiceover, which says, like, oh, Samantha knew this was Charlotte's way of saying, thank you for fucking my brother. Which, like,
Ew.
I feel like, don't say it that way, but...
No.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what she was saying. She was saying, I'm sorry I was mean to you.
Yeah, I feel like the being upset about sleeping with a family member thing is, like, you know, slightly a valid thing, but calling your friend basically a slut is not a valid thing. So, like, yeah, it's really that thing.
And I don't think she was that thankful that she fucked her brother because, I mean, yeah, that's not something to be thankful for.
I mean, I guess when your brother hasn't gotten laid in fucking 2 years, but... like, when you're married, too.
I mean, would you thank anyone if they weren't your friend, though? Would you just thank a random woman you met at a bar?
Truly I would not. But
no.
That's a really good point. It's a weird story, but I guess it's
over now. It's done for.
It's over, and we don't have to think about it anymore. And then we get, like, the last main Miranda scene, which is, it's family day at the gym again, and she's fucking over it, and there's kids everywhere, and... I'm screaming just thinking about it. Like, first of all, you have to go to the gym, and then second of all, there's mutant children everywhere. And yeah, she gets in the elevator and a mom's there with her kid being like, oh, my kid really likes to push the button. Do you mind? And Miranda says, me too, and fucking pushes it herself because she's a strong, independent woman who...
And she don't need no kid to push buttons for her.
Right? Exactly. So there she goes. She really showed that kid.
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit? She just hates children now because one of them ruined a relationship. Yeah. I hate every single human on Earth below the age of 18.
Yeah, that's Miranda, pretty much. I mean, even the synopsis for this episode says, like, in the start of it, it says, like, child-phobic Miranda dates a man with a kid. And I'm like, when has she ever been, like, called child-phobic before? It's not like she's like, I hate children and want them to die. Like,
I think she's just kind of the normal person who doesn't necessarily want kids, but doesn't, like, loathe them. I feel like it's kind of rare. Even if you don't want kids, you don't hate them.
Yeah, like, that's, the normal way for most people to be, but, yeah, they just push it over the top in this, I guess, but...
Then, our final scene, this is painful.
Oh, yeah, this sure is fucking... this is Carrie reading Vaughn's book, and he's just like, oh, it's so sexy to see you reading my book. And
he's like, oh my god, you can read. She can read and she got feet.
Oh, can you flip the page for me? I think it's so sexy when you flip the page, like as if you were reading. And
she's just not reading, she's just waiting for him to come back in the room, and she's like, oh.
Oh, this? I just found this on the floor. It's really good. Yeah, and then he starts to kiss her, and Carrie's just like, okay, well, let's, like, take this slow, like, if you're too excited, we can take a little break. Like, it feels like she's talking to, like, a 5-year-old about fucking, like,
like a 5-year-old who keeps pissing themselves every time they get excited.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I mean, she handles it very, maturely, but also, like, she's talking to a child, and then he's like, oh, why?
Oh, this really got on my nerves because he is acting like there is nothing wrong. How can you be... I mean, there's no way he doesn't know that this is an issue. But if you're not even willing to talk about it, if you're pretending that you aren't coming after 2 seconds...
Yeah, it's delusional.
It's not like he's even got it inside of her. She just touches his dick. It's not even like realistic. It's not like, oh... As soon as he puts in 2 pumps and a squirt. No.
Yeah, no. It's a federal fucking issue. You touch it and it explodes. Like, it's like a balloon with a needle. It's too much.
Mm-hmm. And, I just don't understand. He's like, well, what do you mean? What could you ever possibly be talking about?
Yeah, and she tries to be super, like, understanding and not mean about it and just saying, we have to talk about it if we want to make this work. And he gets super defensive about it. He's just like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, no. Why do we have to talk about this? I'm so tired of talking about sex.
I'm sorry, but if you're planning on having a sex life in your relationship, it should probably be good for both parties.
Yeah, you gotta do something.
Yeah, give her something. Get a vibrator or go down on her.
Yeah, that's the worst part, that he's not really doing anything for her. Like,
oh, because once the man comes, that's it. Sex is over.
Oh, that's it. It's done. Yeah,
that's all, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for coming.
Or not if you're if you're Carrie.
If you're a woman, and if you're one of the 40% of women who have orgasms, good for you.
And so they go to Vaughn's parents' place again, and he's being even more of a piss baby than before. It's super embarrassing. Like, the family is all chatting in, like, the living room, and Vaughn's just in the other room, like, looking for cream cheese and just being like, where's the cream cheese, Mom? It's a lot.
He's like, where's the scallion cream cheese? He's throwing such a tantrum. He's like pacing up and down like he's a fucking hardcore vocalist trying to amp up the crowd.
God, he fucking is. And like, the dad's just like, why is he so edgy right now? And fucking God, he's the opposite of edgy. Like, he's
not on the edge.
As fast as possible. And Carrie just like, she's like, I have no idea. Who knows what's up with him?
I have no idea. She is so nervous, and he's acting like a teenager, and he sort of storms over because his mum's like, will you calm down? What's wrong with you? And he's like, oh, you want to talk, Mom? You want to talk? It's so scary and aggressive.
Yeah, I felt very uncomfortable watching this scene, and Carrie feels uncomfortable because she fucking gets up. She's like, I got a deadline. I have to leave.
She's staring at her sister's girlfriend like, please help me.
Yeah, basically. And she's like, thank you for everything, but no, I gotta go. And yeah, the mom knows something is clearly up and like chases her to the door to ask what happened. And like, clearly Carrie doesn't want to talk to his mom about fucking like premature ejaculation, but the mom already knows.
Well, because she's so honest about it. She's like, this happened with his last girlfriend. She wasn't so polite or something.
I loved her little thing though, because she's like, I see the irony because he writes short stories.
Yeah.
I loved that.
And Carrie's like, I don't want to be talking about this with you. And it's really sad because his friend's like, we had such a good thing going together, you know?
Yeah. It's really special. And Carrie's like, oh, I had to break up with his mother. And Carrie's like, I still want us to be friends.
Yeah, promise you're cool. And Carrie's like, I will.
Yeah, which of course she will never, but I really liked like the very, very end of the episode when she walks out and then she's like, oh, the most important thing in life is family, but you know, sometimes it's found family. And then she just like, she happens to walk by a window where the other three girls are like having lunch together, and she knocks on the window and they're all like, ah, and happy.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute. But why, and she's like banging. If I was in this restaurant and there's some woman banging on the fucking window.
I know. It's like, okay, chill, but yeah. But like, it seems like the only people in the restaurant are like her three friends at the place right next to the place where she was just with her boyfriend's family. Like,
yeah, how did she know? Maybe they were planning on meeting after, but they seem like surprised that she's there.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is like, it's clearly very like scripted, but at the same time, whatever.
Well, are we going into rankings now?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so fuck. Charlotte's my last. Like, she's at the bottom because she had an episode, and then after Charlotte, Samantha didn't do much for me. Like, all she did was sleep with Charlotte's brother. And then, I don't even know. Honestly, I might put Carrie at the top this week just because she really dealt with some bullshit. And then Miranda second, I think.
Yeah, I think I would say the same kind of thing. I mean, Carrie was on her best behavior this episode.
Mm-hmm.
She was dealing with, you know, a problem in the relationship, like with empathy and realistically, and you know, she knew when to call it quits.
Yeah, I think so too. And she really did try and be understanding, so I appreciated it. It's pretty much as good as Carrie gets.
Yeah, behaving like a normal person would is great. So yeah, I would pretty much agree with you on all that.
Okay, well, nice. We're on the same page.
We are telepathically linked right now. We're vibrating on the same frequency. It's very powerful.
This Virgo Pisces alignment is powerful. I guess we should fucking try to blow through questions because we have a backlog of questions right now.
We might have to speed round this a bit. So
okay,
especially
let's do it.
Certain questions from a certain person.
There's you know, several. So all right, so if you want to send us questions, send them to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask or send them to citygirlsmakedo@gmail.com. Okay, so I'm going to read the question from first. She sent it by email, and it says, what are your most Carrie Bradshaw outfits by Sequenced in Spokane?
Yeah. Don't know who that could be from.
Who could that be?
So we did have this discussion because are we talking about early season Carrie or are we talking about movie Carrie? Because movie Carrie dresses awfully.
Yeah, I feel like we gotta say early season Carrie because that's really... I don't know. I'm not going to have any, like, 40-year-old woman outfits, but I will have some that are, like, 32-year-old woman outfits, maybe. I don't know.
I will say, Carrie and I both share a love of a crop top and a high-waisted skirt.
Good look. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a solid look. It's a good silhouette. And, you know, it shows off a bit of flesh without, like, too much. It's like, oh, I do have a waist, just so everyone knows. And I don't know, I like a t-shirt, like a graphic tee or something. I'm not graphic tee, that's cringy. But I like an interesting, like, unique t-shirt and then, you know, high-waisted skirt or something. Yeah, and she wears a little bodycon dress at the end of this, and who doesn't like a bodycon dress? A little mini dress that says, yeah, it's classic, it's sexy, it's all good. But, I mean, I don't know, I feel like Carrie, because Carrie always wears heels, even walking down the city in the daytime, and I just cannot fucking do that.
Yeah, I only wear heels to, like, events. Like, if I go to a wedding, I'll probably wear heels. Or, like, that's pretty much it. I never wear heels to work or anything. So that's, like, the main thing that I'll never do, like, Carrie. And she wears them every day, basically. So
her feet must be fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. They're probably nasty. Like, worse than normal feet.
And they're, like, she's wearing, like, tiny little stilettos with, like, I mean, these aren't even comfortable heels. They have, like, no space between the ground and her foot, so it's just, like, smashing into it.
Yeah, I really hate to wear these kind of heels. They're awful.
Yeah, those ones where they're so thin and you can I just feel like a shockwave going up to my knees when I wear them.
And your toes just stick out the end and they just, like, your toes are just jammed in there and they just, they suffocate. It's like guillotining your toes.
It's horrible. It's horrible. And, you know, she just wear a little peep toes and I just feel like her feet are fucking dirty because New York is disgusting and covered in piss. Like every single fucking city on earth.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't really know what my most Carrie Bradshaw looks are because I really feel like I don't have a similar style to her, like, at all. My main look that's similar to hers is when I don't wear a bra a lot of days. So a lot of the time I'll go out and just not put a bra on, but I usually don't wear shirts that are, like, as tight as the one she does when I don't wear a bra.
I hope your nipples aren't out.
Well, no, because I wouldn't, because I have, like, one of them pierced too, so I wouldn't, like, really want that.
Just a little friend.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would like that. But I don't wear a bra a lot, so that's one thing. But, like, otherwise I find that, like, my style is really different from hers, so I don't really know. I guess, like I feel like I'm thinking about this more in terms of, like, a Carrie Bradshaw essence being just wearing, like, something you think looks really cute, even if it's not.
I do that all the time, and I was going to say, and I thought this also reminded me of you, I have this shirt which is just, like, 5 different patterns going on at once.
Oh, I love that.
And I love wearing it because it's kind of ugly, but I think it looks nice.
But it's good. Yeah. And that's the thing is I wear so many, like, I don't really wear dresses a whole lot, and that's, like, a big thing Carrie wears a lot of. She wears a lot of, like, skirts and dresses. I don't know. I wear them sometimes, but even during the summer I don't really like to. I'm more likely to wear, like, jeans with a button-up shirt, and I don't know, like, Carrie's had a couple looks with shirts that are a little bit unusual for her, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think, there you go, we've established that you are a Miranda and I'm a Carrie, and it makes sense.
True, because I own a lot of blazers, so checks out.
I like wearing skirts and dresses, so checks out.
Thank you, or Sequence in Spokane, for your question.
Ruined it.
I did say it before I even read the email, but
edit it out so we can keep up the mystery.
Okay, I'll bleep it. I'll bleep the name. All right. Our next question is from Tumblr user 2x2Furious, who says, if you were gonna date or fuck any of the love interests played by celebrities so far, who would you pick?
Okay, so let's nail down who we consider to be the celebrities.
I mean, Bradley Cooper,
Will Arnett. I don't think we should put Dennis Duffy down.
Probably not. I feel like he's not really a celebrity. I mean, he could count if he's really your answer. But...
if I saw him down the street, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I should get a picture with him. I'd be like, who the fuck is that? So Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Who am I forgetting? Let me see. I'm gonna Google celebrities and Sex and the City.
We had Leonardo DiCaprio, but not Leonardo DiCaprio because he wasn't actually on the show.
That was good. The ghost of Leonardo DiCaprio.
I feel like there's not going to be anyone so far who's been on that I would put above Will Arnett.
No. Are we talking now?
Oh, I mean, if we include the entire show, then obviously Kyle MacLachlan is my number one.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
At this point, I'd probably put Will Arnett first, just because I love his voice so much.
And he's not a bad-looking guy.
Yeah, I think he's like attractive in a, not like a Kyle MacLachlan attractive, but he's not ugly.
John Bon Jovi!
Oh, right, Bon Jovi. Yeah, true, he was on.
Yeah, I'm not fucking John Bon Jovi, that's for damn sure.
For the whole show, I'm definitely gonna say Kyle.
Of course.
But also a close second is, why am I blanking on his name?
Describe him to me.
Roger Sterling. Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, John Slattery.
Yeah, John Slattery. Yeah, he's also up there, because love me a silver fox.
So I would go Justin Theroux because, and also, I mean, Will Arnett, obviously. I would bang Justin Theroux, like, now, because, I don't know, he's kind of hot. He's going through a midlife crisis. It speaks to me. And have you seen Charlie's Angels 2 Full Throttle?
If I have, it's been a long time. I haven't seen it in years. I think I have, but...
He's in that, and he's, like, hot, and he's shirtless, and he has a terrible Irish accent.
God. Well, that's valid then, as long as it's not him in this episode.
No. He is disgusting in this episode. He looks like the Virgin Slouch meme. He looks terrible.
Oh, I hate that you're right.
Yeah, it's true. I'm having a look at a list now, and do you know who I would bang? I mean, I watched A Star Is Born, and I was like, ugh, Bradley Cooper's kind of hot in this. Which I don't know what that says about me. That's problematic.
I get why people think it, but I disagree. Like, I just don't. He doesn't do it for me at all. I don't know.
He was hot. He wasn't hot enough to sleep with because he was drunk and, like, I didn't understand a word he said, but...
From the trailers of that movie, he just looked like the kind of guy who doesn't wash his dick.
He had a really good tan. He had fake tan embedded in his smegma.
I really want to die now.
Okay. I would definitely... We're going to get to it, and we're going to talk about how Bobby Cannavale is a big crush for me. He's underrated. He's not, like, super well known in terms of, like, big names.
Mm-hmm. I think he still counts. Okay, I thought he was super hot in Mr. Robot, which I don't know what that says about me.
He is so hot in everything. I don't know. I watched Vinyl and I was like, oh, he's hot while he was, like, doing cocaine and having a nervous breakdown.
I mean, that's, like, basically me watching Mr. Robot and seeing him swing an axe, and I'm like, oh boy, this is good. So...
I can't... I would love to taste his funky tasting spunk. We'll get there. That'll make sense. That'll make sense in a future episode.
I can't wait to get there. I'm so excited. Okay, I think that's a pretty good summary of the guest stars of future and past. So thank you for that question. Okay, so now we're getting into our questions from Tumblr user Mike Dawson, aka Dan.
Yeah, we did get a lot of questions from Tumblr user Mike Dawson, aka Dan, and I will say we are very grateful for them, but we do have to do a speed round because, you know.
We've got 4, and a couple of them are, like, quite long. So, okay, so I'll do the first one, and we'll speed round it. Okay, fun fact, the female protagonist of Fallout 4 was a lawyer before the apocalypse. That being said, how would you rank the girls from most to least likely to survive a post-apocalyptic wasteland? Can be Fallout or any post-apoc setting of your choosing. Feel free to throw in other characters if you find their ability or inability to survive interesting to discuss.
Shall I take this one? I played Fallout, so...
Yes, I have not, so...
So I've played most of the Fallout games, and I always play as a woman because I'm a feminist and a woman also. So I did know that she was a lawyer because also I always play as a charismatic person because I'm charismatic myself. Okay,
True.
So number 1, I think, is Samantha because I think she'll fuck her way to the top.
I was gonna say Samantha fucks to survive.
Literally, she will fuck to survive. She will, like, find the warlord and she'll fuck him. 2 is Miranda because she's intelligent. 3 would be Carrie. And then 4 would be Charlotte because Charlotte wouldn't have access to, like, a clarisonic face brush and she would just kill herself.
That's true. There's no wasps in the apocalypse.
No. And I think Big would die.
Big would die pretty fast. Yeah, he would die of a heart attack in the shower.
He's just got high cholesterol and, you know, that's not going to benefit you in the apocalypse.
Yeah, I feel like Skipper is the one other person we could maybe talk about. Skipper, I feel like, has probably read, like, every zombie apocalypse thing of all time, and he probably would still die right away.
When the nukes go off, it's gonna be cockroaches, Cher, and Skipper.
There's literally no difference between cockroaches and Skipper.
I mean, cockroaches are at least beneficial to something. Okay, next question.
Okay, so next question from Tumblr user Meg Dawson. I'm still catching up, but which 6th generation game console, so GameCube, Xbox, or PS2, would each of the girls buy? Feel free to throw in handhelds and such.
This is awfully specific.
This is so specific. I don't know what handhelds are from this era, like Game Boy Advance maybe? When was the handheld Sony? I don't even know.
What was it, the PlayStation Plus? I feel like that was PlayStation 3 era? And then I think, when was the Nintendo DS? That was released alongside the Wii. I remember that because I had a DS.
Yep, exactly. So maybe let's just stick to what's already here. So, yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that Samantha and Charlotte would both have a PS2 because it's the most expensive one probably. And I feel like they would. Maybe Charlotte would own it just so she could play like, did they have Blu-rays back then? They could play... No,
Blu-rays didn't work on the PS2. It was just DVDs.
Okay, well, she would buy one and she could use it as a DVD player or something. And Samantha would have it because it's probably the most expensive one. And I feel like Miranda would have an Xbox because she would play Halo. And I really don't want to say Carrie would have a GameCube because fucking it's the best console and she doesn't deserve it.
Well, I'm team PlayStation, so let's just say that she has an Xbox and is a loser.
Okay, I like that. I like that too.
I think Samantha also got Microsoft because she's like weird about American businesses. Because she dated that Trump guy.
Interesting. True. I like that. So yeah, they're all Xbox and Charlotte has a PlayStation. Charlotte could play Spyro, I think.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like Miranda might have a PlayStation 2. 1, to watch DVDs, because she's like, hey, it's a combination. And 2, she would definitely be into GTA, because after a long...
Oh, God, she really, truly would be.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she'd either be really into GTA or really into Animal Crossing. Or both. Yeah. She's a lawyer. She can get both.
Can you imagine, like, GTA fucking... happy home designer, like GTA but Animal Crossing? You're Isabel and you just go around killing everyone with a gun and doing crimes.
I mean, that is basically Red Dead Redemption, because you go around killing everyone and then you're like, I'm gonna go fishing for like 3 hours and then I'm gonna go talk to my friends back at camp. It is essentially it's that, and that's why it's a good game. And I will suck Arthur Morgan's smegma dick.
Oh, God. You didn't have to say it. Like, you don't...
I didn't, but I'm also on a lot of codeine right now.
That's fine. You're so valid.
If I have a different energy than usual, it's because I'm in a lot of pain, so I just took a lot of drugs before doing this episode.
You're so valid.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. Since it's already been asked what Homestuck characters the cast would kin, what Riverdale characters would the girls, plus whoever else you want to include, kin? Furthermore, what Riverdale-style candy designer drug would you want to make? What kind of candy would it be based on what drug is in it, and what is it called? Okay, I'm going to start with the kin one first. Okay, so... Okay, what Riverdale characters would the girls kin? Okay, Charlotte kins Betty because she's very like Nancy Drew, I don't know. She's like the good girl, so she would kin Betty. And she would be like, oh, I have a dark Charlotte. Samantha kins Veronica. See, the thing is, this is the same problem I had with the Homestuck one, is that Carrie would kin a character, but it's like, that's not even what you're like at all. You just think you're like that because you think you're good, but you're not. So Carrie would... I don't like this one because... Maybe she would kin Jughead because she thinks she's like a writer and talented and smart, but she's not.
I've seen like half a season and you're totally right.
Yeah. And Miranda, I feel like Miranda would partly kin Betty because Betty's the smart one, but she would also maybe partly kin Jughead because he also thinks he's the smart one. I don't know. But Miranda ships Bughead. So that's that. And then what Riverdale-style candy designer drug would you want to make?
So what's the drug in Riverdale then?
Okay, so there's a couple. So originally it was Jingle Jangle, and it was like pixie sticks. And, like, the drugs come in, like, pixie stick containers.
Did I ever... I don't know if I said this, but, like, I fell into a hole because I've been on TikTok a lot recently. And there's this thing where kids are pretending to be addicts to glitter. They've got, like, glitter on their face, like, on their nose, like it's cocaine or like have pipes and shit.
That doesn't seem very good, but okay, good for them.
No, and they're like 50 and they pretend to be drug addicts.
Alright, well, okay.
I maybe that is a Riverdale thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so, because like they're actual drugs on Riverdale, but like none of the main characters are like addicted to them, but all the drugs are like candy. So the new one is Fizzle Rocks, which are like pop rocks, but they have drugs in them, I guess. So I don't know. What would be the other? What would be like? I don't know.
What would we as humans make?
I would make Sour Patch Kids, but maybe to be extra fucky, they would be called like Sour Patch Bitches. I don't know. And what drug would they have in them? Honestly, just weed. Why would you do it? Why would I don't know. I wouldn't take them if it was not weed. So
I mean, I have to be real here for a second. You know the like necklaces, you remember those necklaces as a kid that had like those sweets on them?
Yes.
I don't know if someone has done this, but why not make one of those of ecstasy tablets?
I'm guessing because you probably don't want to take more than one.
No.
And that's an entire necklace.
I just feel like, you know, this is, I don't know if it's really for me, but like, I'm thinking pure hedonism. This is, I don't know, imagining like it's like Studio 64 or something. You're walking through a club and then you just have people like bite off one from your neck.
I could see that. It's not very discreet, but it's good.
Other than that, lollipops? Just give me THC lollipops. There are already candy drugs that exist and they're called edibles, so we'll just do those.
That's true. They don't have to be designer drugs. See, the thing is, I don't want to do designer drugs, so like I don't really want to make any.
I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do anything that's like particularly hard because I just feel like that's a bad avenue for me to go down.
So I guess that answers that one. One more from Tumblr user Mike Dawson. It is, if Sex and the City came back on the air, which shitlib celebs would be guest stars? I don't know, like all of them? There's so many.
Yeah.
Like Chris Pratt.
I don't know.
Can you even call him a shitlib? Because he's a fucking Christian nightmare.
All of them really. I think the point about Ronda Rousey being on was probably rather accurate, unfortunately. I mean, I want to say Serena Williams because she's my preferred female athlete, but she's not really a shitlib.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is I'm trying to think of like who would be a good shitlib to be on there, but
who is hashtag resisting? Like there would be a Broad City crossover, first of all.
Oh my god. That is like, yeah, that's true. That is very the definition of shitlib.
So Kamala Harris would there'd be a fundraiser for Kamala Harris or some shit. Or Elizabeth McGonagall. And I don't know. God, do you remember in the second movie where Liza Minnelli shows up and does Single Ladies? Yeah. And I'm like, this is fucking pointless, but also I love it. That's the kind of shit I want from Sex and the City. I don't need them to delve into politics at all.
It's true. The thing is, Liza Minnelli rules, so like
she fucking does. Like, Liza Minnelli is the best.
Yeah.
And her singing Beyonce is extremely powerful at a gay wedding, too. Ugh.
All right, we have one more question, and it's from Anonymous. And it says, what do you guys think about Sarah Jessica Parker's outfit in the Carrie Stella Artois ad? I think she posted it on her Instagram. We hated it. Yeah,
this is what I mean when I say by the time we get to the movies, they are just wearing, like, you know that famous Chanel quote of take one thing off before you leave the house? She put 3 things on. She has a glove, she has a belt, she has a jacket, she has a tutu, she has these horrible sock boots. Like, her hair is down, which, when you have long hair, is a statement when you wear your hair down. So, like, none of this shit goes together. It could feasibly work separately.
Yeah, it could work separately, I think, but it's still, a lot of it's just hideous. Like, I don't like her jacket at all. It doesn't matter what she wears it with. The tutu is the only thing that makes sense because of, like, it's originally from the opening credits, obviously, and, like, that's about it. And I also hate her eyeliner. It doesn't look good on her. Like, it's different than what we're used to with Carrie. I don't know. Also, the ad makes no sense either.
No, she gets, like, the bus drives past with the water splashes on her. And I think Stella Artois do this thing where, like, they ransom off little African children, and they're like, if you buy our beer, then we'll give water to them.
I've never heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It's one of those things, I don't know. Like, you know how companies do that, like Tom's, and they're like, if you buy our shoes, we'll give one to some, you know, little barefoot third world child.
Yeah.
And it's just, so you're basically saying if I don't buy them, if I decide to buy my shoes from Nike because they're more comfortable, then I'm a terrible person? Dope.
Yeah, well, there's no ethical consumption under late capitalism. So.
No, there's really not. And I just, like, you are a fucking billion-dollar company. You can just install as many water pumps as you goddamn like. So, yeah. But also I do hate her eyeliner because she's gorgeous. She has large eyes and they're like, just swallow them up.
Yeah, it's an interesting look, like the under eye eyeliner look. I mean, I know that I used to do it a lot when I was in high school. I thought that it suited me. It doesn't really suit me. It doesn't suit Sarah Jessica Parker.
No. Yeah, she dresses like she's in iCarly because she should be wearing like leggings and a pair of shorts and a hoodie and a long sleeve top and a vest.
It's not a great look, and the commercial makes no sense, and they could have done so much better if they'd thought about this for like longer than 2 seconds. And that's the end of our questions. So we powered through them all. We have no more questions in our Ask Box. So
send more in.
Send more in. You know where to send them to. And otherwise, just follow us on all the places. Follow us on Tumblr and Twitter at our City Girls Make Do. Follow me on Tumblr at Windfall Island. Follow me on Twitter at Age of Oddish. I almost forgot what it was. I was thinking about Age of Odds because I'm gonna guest on a new noise-based podcast very soon.
Ooh.
And brief spoiler, I guess, it's gonna be about Age of Odds. So that episode, not the whole podcast.
I had no idea you liked Sufjan Stevens. Yeah, and you can follow me on Tumblr. I'm Dork Phoenix, and I don't know, I might be appearing on certain shows soon. I'll let you know when that'll be.
Now I'm just imagining Sufjan Stevens coming in and being a love interest for like Samantha. But he plays himself. She's gonna like turn him into just fucking Rickety Cricket from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
She would fucking suck the soul out of his dick. He would have his little angel wings and his 2 hats and his little guitar, and then you'd see him again, he'd just be like a little cretin. Like, in The Little Mermaid, those little weird things are in Ursula's grotto.
Yes.
He'd look like that. I really don't want him to be near Samantha. He's too precious.
He would end the episode by smashing his banjo on the ground of the New York City floor. It'd be good. Anyway, thanks for listening to our episode, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.